brewers, and welcome to my channel. So we are doing the part 2 to the Super Malt Stout version 2 that we started a week ago. Now normally I would just bottle it up and then would do the tasting video in a week or so's time, but there has been a lot of new subscribers, so thank you very much for subscribing and welcome. This is the channel of weird, and I'm going to be going through some of the steps I do to bottle up my beers and also priming, because I know there's going to be questions, so let's try and answer them. Went ahead and I've sterilized everything. I've wiped down my side using a bleach and washing up liquid solution. Now the bleach I'm using is thin bleach, not thick bleach or scented bleach. It's just thin, cheap bleach. Costs 30p for 2 litres. And also just dish soap. Mine case Fairy. I like Fairy. So my bottles have been sterilized and then they've been rinsed until they don't smell of bleach, and I've sealed them up to stop them getting any germs. Bad germs. I've also finished sterilizing my spoons that I'm going to be using for my priming sugar, and also my siphoning tube, which is cool. I also have a handy drink because, well, it should be mandatory, but it's tasty. Good stuff. So everything is almost set up. Awesome. So I'm going to tell you about the Super Malt. So it finished at 1.012, which gives it a final gravity of 5%. So 5% beer, pretty good in my book. I like 5% or over, but 5% good. So I'm now going to be siphoning my beer into my bottles. Now I'm using my thin walled stuff. It's more controllable. You can buy a siphon, but PVC pipe is really cheap, and you can make it to any length you want. So to make a siphon, it's very simple. Pop the lid off and pour your liquid in. Fortunately it's pretty dark in here, so there we go. And I've also sterilized a peg, which I didn't mention before, and that's just to hold this puppy in place. Makes the job so much easier. So the siphon is simply to suck on the end to draw it into the pipe and put your thumb over the top. Now you've got your beer all ready to go. Got my beer bottle, open it up, and just make sure that your tube is lower than the bottle, than your jammy jam. And you pretty much got a little bit here, and then you just make sure it's lower and fill. And I will be back once I've filled up all of my bottles with this lovely nectar of the gods. Right, so I have finished siphoning. As you can see, I have full bottles. Lovely, lovely. So there is always a bit left in the bottom. There's nothing you can do about it unless you want to have sort of like one beer that has got all the crust, which is all the yeasty stuff at the bottom. You're always going to have a bit of waste. So now we're going to prime the bottles, and that's going to give it its fizz. So very simply, I've got my bag of sugar. Works the same. We're only using a tiny bit. Now for a 450 ml bottle, I'm going to need about 2 grams, which is half a teaspoon. So I've got, fortunately, these pre-measured half a teaspoon lots. So I just literally pop my sugar in, 1 level teaspoon, and in it goes. Use the finger funnel. Since my hands have already been sterilized, on goes the cap. That's one done. And I'm just going to continue until I get to the last one. There we go. Add in that one. There we go. Now I've got the big one to do. Now, funny enough, since 455 ml bottles take 2 grams, which is half a teaspoon approximately. You can put a bit more in, but it's good to err on the side of caution. A 2 litre bottle will take 9 grams, approximately. But I'm a bit lazy, so I can't be bothered with the quarter teaspoon. So I'm just going to use my teaspoon and do 2 of these, which is 8 approximately. There's 1, and 2. Now you can use brewing sugar, but since there is so little amount of just plain old granulated sugar, it doesn't really affect the flavour at all. Of course, if you're a purist, you can. Now I didn't degas these obviously, because, well, I want them to still ferment, and there is enough active yeast, even though the bottom here is full of the crust. So for the next 7 days, approximately, I'm just going to be leaving these just out, and then I'm going to be putting them in the fridge. Now that's going to help any excess yeast fall to the bottom. Then we're going to try these. I'm actually quite looking forward to see if the addition of hops and oats gives it more of a head and more of a sort of beery, stouty taste, even though I did like the first amount. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and you'll see me for the next one. So don't forget to comment, rate, like, share and subscribe. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Cheers.